What's up, y'all? I'm Mace. What's going on? Man, this series, I'm just wanting to do a series I thought would be interesting from like the title. I was trying to think of something that, was fitting, and I came up with um, from the projects to professional, or just from the projects to professional. And basically, you know, I I'm your host. You know what I'm saying? I'm the dude that's, gonna be I'm the voice that you're gonna be hearing. So anyway, it's just like I just wanted to tell y'all what or document this journey, like how it began, where it started. And I'm from Detroit, Michigan. My borough is Highland Park. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to HP, shout out to the D. Right now, I live in Boston, Massachusetts. So, and you might hear some people in the background. That's my wife and kids. I have 4 girls, 2 boys, um, and so I'll talk about that a little later. So anyway, um, yeah, I just wanted to document this journey, and I was trying to think of a catchy title, um, just something that I probably fall in love with. But I just came up with so far was from the projects to professional, and just to give you guys, let y'all know what's up. I started, growing up in Detroit, growing up in Highland Park, Michigan. It's a borough inside of Detroit, actually. So it was, rough neighborhood. It didn't start out that way. At one point Detroit was booming because of the automobile market, but when all of that went, so did the lifestyle and the nice neighborhoods and all of that, and crack cocaine hit, and that was it. So a lot of people, out there that didn't grow up in the projects like that, you might not be able to relate, but I know you've heard the story over and over. But even though it might have the same theme, every person still offers, every person's story is still unique, has a unique aspect to it. So, and here's mine. So, um, I thought about things that I would do. I really didn't have an idea, but where I started and where I'm at now is basically I work as a software engineer, building web applications for huge companies, right? So, and they pay well, and now I make over 6 figures, and I'm able to take care of my kids and my wife and my family. And like I said, we live in Boston, Massachusetts, and it's not cheap out here at all. Anybody who's from Boston, y'all already know. So like at one point um, I was in the military, so I've been to quite a few places, and as far as being able to compare the cost of living, and Boston is definitely up there. Those that live in New York on the East Coast too, you know, you know what I mean. Even in Detroit, they have their areas. Still, even though a lot of areas of you know blighted now, especially in the inner cities, but there's still you know uh, those high end areas still exist. So anyway, so right now that's what I'm doing, and I didn't want to just be like, you know, kind of like fake it, you know what I'm saying, and just talk to you guys about, present myself as if like I know a whole lot about, what I'm saying, what's going on, I know a whole lot about software engineering, because the truth is I don't. It's a lot of technology, a lot of aspects of it, to learn. And so far I've been doing this for um, almost 4 years. So yeah, I just started basically almost 3.5, 4 years ago. And when I started, I was making like $9, $10 an hour. And so within, because I was working for Geek Squad. Um, yeah, no, it's like I didn't always do these things, but at one point when I was younger, um, when my pops played an active role, in the family, he had before he ran into his obstacles, you know what I'm saying. But there was a point where he told me, he said he brought a computer home to the crib, and this is on the brink of when everything was on the up and up for my family. It's just me and my sister, um, and my mom and dad was about the same age that I am now, and they were just getting everything started. My mom she had got her degree, and she was pursuing her master's, and they both were working for the city of Detroit. So, or actually Highland Park, which the city inside of Detroit. So anyway, they were making good money. We had just bought, or not bought, but were able to lease to own from, um, a home from in a nice neighborhood. It was nice at the time. It went down later, but man, I just remember how it started and everything was good. But anyway, my pops had brought a computer home one day, and he was like, "Son, I'm gonna tell you something. This right here is gonna be the future. So you should take the time to learn this." And I remember getting on it the next morning because he was showing me, so I was interested. But growing up in the projects, man, nobody's really talking about computers and learning any type of engineering. What you hear in the hood is either music, sports, or drugs and alcohol. So you're gonna be an athlete, or you're gonna sell drugs. Nobody was really trying to hear working at a 9 to 5 at a restaurant like Mickey D's or anything like that. But the options, what I'm trying to say is some of you may have grew up and been close to people, professionals, engineers, doctors, lawyers, and the like, but you don't have that. Typically, the average person, I believe, and especially where I was from, we didn't get that. So we weren't next to those professionals, so it wasn't something that we could relate to, and it wasn't we didn't get the word or the wisdom from people like that because they weren't prevalent in our neighborhood, in my neighborhood. So I wanted to present the obstacle basically so you could see like the adversity. But with that being said, that's where I'm at today, and basically I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give you guys more and more insight, but I'll be back for sure.